It is hot. I'm Storm Shield meteorologist Jason Myers. It is May 6th, and it's hot. We're seeing some pretty warm temperatures, especially the eastern two-thirds of the country. It's still early, mind you, so look at this. Checking out some temperatures well in the 70s along the Gulf Coast, already in the 60s up through the Mid-South, spanning really from parts of New Mexico up through Pennsylvania and even New York, even getting into New England and the Northeast, seeing temperatures in the 50s already, a few 40s, only a couple spots in the Northwest are actually in the 30s. And look at the forecast for today. We get rid of these temperatures. Look at the afternoon high temperatures. You see that bright white spot in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas right there? Well, those would be triple digits, everybody. And you can see that ridge of just warm air going all the way up to almost northern Minnesota. This is later this afternoon. Heading through the rest of the week, it looks like the heat subsides a little bit. Heading into the night, things cool down, but by tomorrow afternoon, it heats up again back in the 90s. Because of all this heat, some red flag warnings have been issued, spanning from Arizona all the way through New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and parts of Colorado as well. So just say no to fire over these next few days because it is hot, and as we know, it has been dry in the Southwest and in Texas as well. So it's not going to take much for anything to get started there. As for any rain, looks like we're not going to see a lot of that. We'll change that over to the rain showers here. There we are, and looking at really just where the low pressure systems too. We're going to take a look at that as well. And you notice this is late this morning. We're starting to see what looks like a low pressure system finally beginning to form over really the Rockies right there, and it really becomes well defined. This is late tonight, early tomorrow morning. We start to see that low forming over parts of Kansas and Nebraska, northern Kansas, southern Nebraska right there. And watch, it is going to ride up through the northern plains, the upper Midwest, and that's where we're going to see some potential for severe weather. Not today, but tomorrow and Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday, we have a good shot at seeing some severe weather. Good news, looks like the severe weather is more than likely going to be some straight line winds and some large hail. The chance for tornadoes has really decreased as things are starting to come together here. But most of that is really going to span from Texas. You can see a few storms starting to fire up right there. That looks like it's a late Wednesday night into Thursday. And we could potentially see some severe weather. It looks like it's going to be very scattered across this area, but spanning from Texas all the way as far north as Minnesota and Wisconsin. And really it's going to be a couple of days where we're seeing this, and that's because the upper level patterns are not moving a whole lot. It's a pretty slow moving system. Here's a look at the instability in the atmosphere's cape, as we call it. We'll look at the winds, the upper level winds as well, and you can see things are starting to dig along the west coast, and this will only shift to the east. And as it does, out ahead of it, we're going to see that instability really rising from Texas all the way up to the northern plains and the upper Midwest, and those are going to be the best chances for some severe weather. And again, looks like what we're going to see here more than likely on Wednesday and Thursday are some straight line wind scenarios. So we'll see long lines of thunderstorms, and out ahead of that, some bow echoes perhaps, and some very strong winds in excess of course, 55 miles an hour, that threshold for severe winds, and potentially some large hail as well. When you see severe weather that far north, the freezing line is much lower in the atmosphere, so it's a little easier for some hail to develop, and it looks like we could be looking at that on Wednesday and Thursday. Today, just hot for the eastern two-thirds of the country. The west coast, you're actually a little bit cool right now, but everybody's seeing some fairly quiet weather, not a whole lot of rain across the country. We're just starting to see that rain developing in parts of farther west along the west coast and on the western side of the Rockies, and that will slowly work its way to the east. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe to our videos, here on YouTube that Storm Shield is our channel. And you'll notice the background here is a little bare on the walls. If you have any good stuff you may want to donate to our studio, we'd really appreciate it. You can reach out to us on Twitter, Storm Shield app, and you can reach out to myself, Jason Myers, WX, on Twitter as well. And we also have Storm Shield on Facebook. Check us out there. Follow us, like us, do all that good stuff. And in the meantime, stay safe. Shouldn't be too bad today. Just keep a close eye on those fires in the southwest. And until tomorrow, I'll see you then.